everyone, and welcome to Tech Talk. I am Jennifer Cooper. I am your Tech Talk host and fractional CMO at fOCUS360. And today our guest is Miss Qadra Evans. She is the director, you have a beautifully long title. You're the director of industry relations and sales for new construction at Zillow. Welcome, Qadra.
Thanks, Jen. Thanks so much for having me. It is a delightfully long title, isn't it?
Yeah, I had to write it down because I was like, she's director of like the world over at Zillow. So maybe just shorten it to that.
Yes, definitely.
Well, I don't think there's too many people out there that don't know you. I feel like, Qadra, you are a road warrior on the path of knowing everything that's innovative going on in our industry, which makes you a wonderful guest on Tech Talk. At Tech Talk, we talk about all things technology, all things marketing. We really focus on the home building industry at large and how we're supporting our home builders, both in single family and multifamily out there in our wonderful universe of home building. So today I want to kick things off and do a little meet and greet first. So tell us about how you came into the industry and a little bit more about that beautiful long title role at Zillow.
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to date myself here, but I have been in the real estate industry since 2003. So decades long in the real estate industry. That's kind of how I got my start. I kind of maneuvered my way through all sorts of different facets of the real estate industry, and I found my way to Zillow in 2017. So I've been here about 8 years, coming up on 8 years, and still really help out heavily with the real estate side of the business at Zillow, and then also focus on the new construction industry as well.
Awesome. Well, great. Well, we're glad you are here. I know, like I said, you're a road warrior. If you haven't seen her at any conference, she'll be at the Zillow office or Zillow booth and at all the cool parties. You always run into her. So we're going to talk a little bit about, everything going on at Zillow. I know you've got some statistics to tell us about, but first let's talk about, and maybe not everybody will know about this program, the Advantage program at Zillow called Zillow Advantage Program. And let's talk about what our partnership at fOCUS360 looks like with that. And what does the program really mean for today's builder? You know, what kind of easy button does ZAP offer overall, in your opinion?
Yeah, so I love talking about this because it's kind of one of the unsung heroes of the new construction business. A lot of people just don't know about it. So the Zillow Advantage program, we call it ZAP. The Zillow Advantage program is, I like to think of it as like how you think of credit card rewards. So you've got your credit card, you maybe pay your annual fee, but then by doing that, you unlock all sorts of other rewards down the road from partners that credit card has. So the Zillow Advantage program is kind of in that vein. We've got partners that we've vetted, very trusted partners that we feel comfortable putting in front of our builder partners. And those partners offer some service to builders. So fOCUS360, obviously, tremendously valuable visualization tools are offered. And because our builders are a customer of Zillow, they unlock some benefits that fOCUS360 has agreed to offer Zillow customers. And so that's kind of how the program works. We've got visualization tools from fOCUS360. We've got website builders. We've got kind of just a whole array of any service that a builder might need throughout their transactions.
Awesome. So it basically gives you a menu and the consumer a menu and more opportunity on how you're going to make those listings really more robust to stand out against others that are in those listings. So that's fantastic. Yeah, I know we love that feature. We're always looking for different ways that we can support builders to get our tools more in front of the journey of the customer path. And obviously Zillow is a big part of that with your new construction listings. That's fantastic. We're glad to be a part of that. Thanks for the description. Tell us a little bit about on the Zillow side. I think home builders are always hungry, and there's always new people coming into the industry, especially on the marketing side, to understand what are some of the best practices for listings. And like anything else, I feel like listings, there's algorithms always changing online and how we're showing up. And then those listings, you guys may add new features or and I don't really know if there's maybe some algorithms even behind the features, but are there some best practices out there that home builders should be looking at to make the most out of their listings, especially when they're competing against resale and competition in the marketplace?
Definitely, and we're going to start seeing that competition pick up, especially into 2025. But we'll touch on that later. It is an amazing time to be new construction builder, because there are tools that we've never had before that have kind of come to fruition since COVID that allow you as the builder to give a buyer a level of comfort with something that may not even be built yet. We can plug for fOCUS360 and being able to visualize an entire house on a vacant lot. We've never had that technology before. And so what better way to compete with resale than to take advantage of all the great technology that's out there. As far as performance on the site goes, we want 3D tours. Buyers tell us that they want 3D tours. We get 36% more saves, 68% more views on listings that have 3D tours. So it's not a nice to have anymore. It's a must have. Make sure that you're taking advantage of that technology, because again, you're giving buyers a level of comfort when they're behind their computer. And so when they decide to take the next step and come see you at your sales center, they've already gotten comfortable with what you have to offer. So that's a pretty good way to qualify them right up front. My favorite thing on Zillow is interactive floor plans. I think that they are so fun to play around with. You can do whatever, however your brain works best. So if you just want to see the floor plan and kind of maneuver your way through that, or if you want to click into photos in a specific room, you can do that. And so it really meets the needs of how people like to shop, and they can customize it for themselves. And again, those are tools that are getting more engagement on the site. So I would highly, especially for new construction, get a floor plan on there and let buyers explore it on their own. They want that. And when they find the right house, they're already coming to you as more qualified, because they're like, yep, that floor plan works for me.
Yeah, I would say, from the marketing side, being a fractional CMO, builders look for ways for your listings to be sticky, right? So on our websites, we're looking for the stickiness factor. We pull them in. We don't want them to leave. So in the listing, you have that same opportunity. Maybe they don't know your brand yet, but they stumbled upon you from being in a larger listing site like Zillow. Let that listing have that same sticky factor. So come up with those checklists of all the things that you would want on your site. And if you don't have them in either place, that's also the gap, right? So identify where those gaps are. And Qadra, also, I'm sure you're seeing a difference in maybe people engaging in imagery that has furniture or no furniture. Like if it's virtually rendering your furniture is also super important. So any insights or thoughts on that?
I don't have a ton of data on virtual staging. I hope to. We acquired a virtual staging company earlier this year. And so I can definitely envision a world where Zillow is going to start to pay attention to how this plays on the site. Yeah. But put yourself in a home shopper's eyes. And if you can start to visualize how your furniture is going to look in a home, or how you might lay out a vacant room, that again is giving you that level of comfort that you might not have otherwise. So it's hugely beneficial.
Yeah. So I recommend it, especially, use the virtual model tours and things when the house isn't built. But then when you have all those specs, and if you've got 5 floor plans that look cookie cutter down the street, if you happen to in those listings show a bunch of white boxes, nothing's creating that memory moment. So adding in that really creates, again, that stickiness factor. So wanted to throw that advice in there as well. So let's talk about 2025. Zillow is a huge, resource for data, and I know you guys are tracking a ton of different things. Are there any, and I know you guys do some great reports around this time of year, are there any 2025 predictions that you can share with us today on TekTalk?
Sure. So,
or 3.
Yep, absolutely. I love this. I wish that I had something that was really earth-shattering for 2025, but right now, what our economists are telling us is it's going to look like more of the same for a little while, but things are going to be improving compared to where they were this year in 2024. So mortgage rates, we're still expecting them to be volatile. Sorry for the bad news, but they're still going to just be kind of this roller coaster. We're going to get them lowered. The Fed will get news that the economy is still really strong, so they're going to raise. Our economists are saying it's going to look a lot like 2024 did, but people are getting more comfortable with it. So yeah, we are projecting, we had about 4.1 million sales in 2024. We're projecting 4.3 million sales in 2025. We are projecting lower home growth, so 2.6% home value growth next year, which is slowing. And so again, we're going to see things kind of just start to normalize a little bit more kind of just continuing the trend that we have seen in 2024. They're talking about pets. They're saying pets are more important than ever. Our consumer housing trends report in 2024 told us this, but our economists are saying for renters and buyers, do not ignore pets. This is only a trend that's going to continue to grow. So that's just a little bit of a sneak peek. Those are kind of the main points that we want to hit.
Okay, well, we'll be excited when the full report comes out. Definitely want to hear more about those insights for sure. So thank you for sharing those. So let's talk about, you see so many builders across the country. Is there anybody, and this is your chance to do a little shout out, but I was just curious, is there any builders out there that are doing like all the right things?
There are a lot of builders that are doing a lot of great things, so I don't want to single anybody out, but there's a few that I notice consistently doing amazing work. They get shout outs from their reps here at Zillow too. So TrueMark, wonderful marketing team in TrueMark. Shea Homes, they are adopters of all tools, and so they really do it right. Their listings are showing up great on all the online shopping portals. Keystone Custom Homes, Richmond. These are all huge companies that have huge resources going along with them too, to make their listings stand out, but they're doing everything right and they're taking advantage of all the technology that's available to them.
Yeah, I asked for those shout outs for this reason, is if you're a smaller builder or regional builder, maybe you're like, I'll never be, we're not aspiring to be as big as TrueMark or Shea, for example, right? But if they do have those resources, let them be a beacon for you and maybe identifying some of your gaps. And I take competition out of this equation for home builders is because we want to show up authentically and in the same manner to let that customer really find the right product for them. So let's try to give them as much of a great experience. At the end of the day, the right builder with the right floor plan based off of what they offer is what's going to really pull them in. But use those other brands as like a beacon for maybe what you're missing or maybe what you aspire to grow and work on your innovation roadmap. So thanks for sharing your thoughts on this. I know most of the VPs behind those marketing teams, and those are great examples. So thank you for sharing.
That's right.
Last but not least, or I guess we're kind of wrapping up here shortly, but are there any new products or features at Zillow, or maybe newer, that builders may not be aware of that you would love to share with the audience today?
Definitely. We just to start off, we are always looking at evolving the business and products to best meet our partners' needs. But we do things really at our soul is for consumers. And so everything that we do for agents, builders, property managers, all of those partners is to get into consumers' hands what consumers want to see when they shop. So know that we're always working and evolving in the background on those types of products. But a couple of things that I'm really excited about for next year are purely meant to bring transparency to consumers while they navigate these volatile interest rates and this noisy market and all the headlines that they read. My favorite one right now, we talked about volatile mortgage rates continuing into next year. We just launched a feature this year called Buyability. And I love it because a buyer can put in all their personal stuff, their debt, their income, their desired monthly payment. And we are going to put the current interest rate into that factor. And all we're doing is showing buyers properties that are within their buyability range. So we surface listings to them that they can afford. And so as they navigate those interest rates, your buying power may change from day to day, but we're there to give them that certainty and that control with that feature. So I love that one. And then the other one, you've heard the noise and you've read the headlines. Climate risks are at an all-time high, and there are lots of challenges going along with those. And so we launched in Q4 a climate risk score. So every single listing you will see on the site will have flood, fire, air quality, hail, any climate risk that you may face in a certain property or certain area. Well, a consumer will be able to see that on their listings. And so again, I would tie this back to they're just more educated by the time they make it to a builder sales center. They know what they want. They know a climate risk may or may not exist. They know that they can afford it because of buyability. And so we're really just putting all of the information into their hands to make it more seamless.
Awesome. Again, you're giving us a little bit more of that sticky factor, right? More reasons to have robust listings. So that's
That's great.
fantastic.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, where can we find you next? What's next? What's next for you? I know we're coming up holiday time, going into January, but where's the Zillow team headed next?
Zillow team. The next thing on our list is the International Builder Show. I can't believe we're just right at the cusp of another one. But we'll have a huge. I keep saying Builder Show last year, and it was just earlier this year, but we're already talking about 2025. So we'll have a huge team there. We'll be meeting with builders and other partners and looking forward to another fun time. It's always a fabulous event.
All right. Well, we will be there too at fOCUS360. Well, thank you so much today for joining us. We do like to keep TekTalk kind of short and digestible. So this was perfect. Love the insights, love the predictions. Definitely be on the lookout for that report coming out soon. I want to thank you, Qadra, for joining us today. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. It's so good to see you as always.
Awesome. And thanks everybody for watching. And as a quick reminder, you can pick up this segment on our new Spotify channel. If audio in the car, you want to catch up with Qadra and check this out later or send it to a friend, be sure to follow us on Spotify. Till next time, thanks everybody.